joined the club thinking that I would be a member for 1 year. If icebreaker, the first assignment of the Toastmasters education program, has such a great effect, there must be much, much more in store for me in the future.
Welcome to our regular District 76 interview session with famous Toastmasters from around Japan. Today, we're very happy to welcome Bunzo Suzuki from Hiroshima Phoenix Toastmasters Club. Welcome, Bunzo.
Well, thank you very much for having me. In 2010, one of the things that made it necessary for the international board to declare the strategic plan for the next 5 years, they are seeing the globalization. Before, the Toastmasters was basically for the North America plus alpha. Already into the year 2000, the ratio of the international memberships becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, they saw a need of globalize their education program. By globalizing, meaning making materials available in different languages. That's an important part of the Pathways program. Now we have 9 languages. I think they started out with 8 languages, and now 9 languages available. Toastmasters has long adopted the slogan, Toastmasters where leaders are made. This one had been with us much longer than Pathway. We had leadership programs too, but we had a separate leadership track and communication tracks. We had advanced communicators, advanced leaders. But communication and leadership is so closely knitted together. It's not natural for having 2 separate tracks. And initially, the Toastmasters, they were thinking about creating a great communicators. Leadership things became more important. They started using Toastmasters where leaders are made, but still communication always was the main track, and other people, and the people you as a PR manager target at those outside people are also thinking first communication when they hear the name Toastmasters. But I think this joining of the 2 factors was a very important element of the considerations, I think. For example, yesterday we had a regular meeting of the Phoenix Toastmasters Club. One of our members delivered the Pathways speech, and the speech was the understanding your personal leadership style. Initially, she was not too eager to go into a leadership style, but through the course of preparing for her speech, she went through the questionnaire, which asks 48 questions to identify what type of the leaders you are. And there are 8 different leadership types. And according to this manual, she identified herself as an altruistic leader. And she went back in her career about some of the experience and where she thought her style was very important. And she agreed with the finding of this 48 questionnaires. And she was very impressed, and she was very much sold on this particular project. And as a result, more so in the Pathways entire programs. Yes, many of our members are interested in English. I remember long discussion with one of the club members in Shikoku. She thought that she was a member of the Toastmasters Club for the communication and English purpose only. And she didn't want to have any involvement in the leadership development. So I had hard discussion and conversation with her. She did not stay with the Toastmasters, but by now, I hope she's back again with the class. When we are talking like this, we are communicating, but through that communication, you may be starting to think that, oh, pathway may be more interesting than you thought before. And that's a convincing process. And way of influencing people is a basic skills of leaders. Like when you are among your friends and deciding on the lunch, Japanese people are not very strong in asserting, let's go to Italians or anything. Then one person says, let's go to Chinese today, and all others follow. Then this person is already demonstrating a very wonderful leadership skills. So without communication, leadership becomes very difficult. If you think this way, many people are actually exercising leadership skills or the leadership itself, but they are not aware. If systematically, if you succeed in convincing him or her that they are exercising skills of leadership, and that skills can be further improved by doing this. If we can logically explain that kind of things, they will become more interested in Toastmasters itself. You need to exercise leadership in the family situations or in the friendship situations or whatever. International convention that I attended for the first time was 2010. And during the business review sessions, that president announced a strategic plan. So it's a revitalized education programs. It was not a pathway as such, because they wanted to revise the existing programs. They had not thought about going all the way to redoing the entire education programs. And they tried to do step by step. But in the process of that study, they found it necessary to do it overall at one time. Otherwise, it's not possible. So it has turned into a pathways program. In 2013 or 14, they appointed the pathways chief ambassadors at all districts worldwide. I became the chief ambassador. And we had about 15 ambassadors as such, who were supposed to do a sort of the groundwork for receiving the finished pathways. Pathways development got delayed and delayed and delayed because of the huge amount of the work they had to do. And as a result, we stayed sort of idle. When they become ready for rolling out the program, I think, this is my guessing, they wanted to have the people who are more familiar with computer technologies. Because in the early stage, not all of the ambassadors were the computer experts. They wanted to appoint a pathways guide. I became a guide too, and Futana-san was the chief guide. We worked together with the Toastmaster Ishihara, sort of created a 3-people team. And we held many, many webinars to promote. We also visited the club officers training at each of the divisions throughout Japan. Also, our guide members visited all clubs. And also, I was the chief reviewer of the translated materials for Pathways. I enjoyed relations with Pathways.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you very much.
very much for your time.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed very much. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.